I'm just
I'm writing about making America grateful again.
That's good.
I just got my I got an accidental YouTube ban 91 days ago because I visited a channel of this fucking 6-year-old kid who makes like $20 million a year, and that was my thumbnail. It's like probably my favorite phrase. I'm not a
That's
big.
good.
I'm a bit. I'm a collection of snowflakes. I'm not a big Mr. Trump lover.
Oh, well, dude, like, you, like, yeah, I mean, how could you be really? If you did your research, then, like, he's fucking, dude, like, Trump University, like, real, like, dude, like, timeshare scams, like, dude, every type of, like, thing in the book. Really.
Yeah, do you have like any sound issues where you talk? Cause I got you at 200%. You're real quiet. I wonder if I can fix that somehow. My browsers. Let me try closing my browsers down. I think they were fucking with this the other day somehow. How about? Oh shit! I'm on push to talk. Wait, am I on push to talk? Fucking Jesus Christ! The hell?
How about now?
Much louder. Much louder.
Nice.
Oh, I am on voice activity. I keep like pushing the button. Think I'm not saying anything. Excuse me. Where were you said something to make that? Fuck.
I was just saying, yeah, I was just saying, like, the Trump University thing, like all the timeshare scams, the real estate stuff that failed.
Right. Yeah. Yo, so that kind of sucks because time sharing in and of itself, there's not only nothing wrong with it, but if you don't do it, like you don't get access to like amazing shit that you might only want to use for fucking 6 hours a week, like amazing things that you can't afford, and if you don't share them, you can't afford them. If you let a for-profit build them, they'll charge too much and you still can't afford them. So all those scams with time sharing kind of hurt getting people to understand that you have to do shit like that in a non-corrupted way, but they also create an opportunity for creating some legitimate shit which involves time sharing and blowing the stereotype out of the water completely. But you do have to face with everyone thinking that you're trying to scam them if you talk about anything in the universe of time sharing.
Yeah, I know. So it kind of sucks, and I agree completely. And sometimes it's so useful, like things like yachts and shit. It's like it has to be a timeshare. I'm sorry, it's just.
Well, I mean, a billionaire can. Why, as soon as I talk to people, I randomly end up getting high as fuck? What is it about people? I don't know. Jesus. I like connect with people. Let's get high.
Of course, a billionaire can afford it, but like even they're gonna rent it out, and essentially they're sharing it with other people.
Right. Yeah, I mean they do that all the time. Rich people, well, not all the time. There's some of the hyper rich don't give a fuck, but a lot of them do like rent their jets back, and they end up like flying for free sometimes if they're smart.
Yeah, so they do it.
But they wouldn't. Don't you think? Can't you visualize a future where, like, 10 years from now, when you move some crypto into a business plan to build like the sickest yacht ever, and like you're a 1,000th owner, and you have like so many days guaranteed, and you can trade those days if you want to other investors, but like the only people who ever go on that yacht are like investors and their family or the chick they're fucking with, whatever the rules are, like that's in the real normal world. I gotta stop thinking about my other crazy ideas and come up with one where we could put a model out there, right? Like we could be like, listen, this is what we can do, and this is what it'll cost, and this place will be the craziest fucking casino you've ever seen. Like everything you bring on this boat, by the time you leave, like you're either gonna win it all, or you're gonna go home with like nothing, right? We'll give you a toga just to get home from the airport, whatever the fuck it is. It wouldn't be a cruise ship. It would be it would be a Fiat, dude. It would be the Fiat. And I would get, like, if I am the person who has to force this upon crypto nights, like, I'll get one room, like, they'll be like, all right, you can have one studio cabin forever, right? Like, I'll be like, that's all I want. I don't need to own the boat. I would never try to own but give me a room, you know? And give me a toilet that looks like a throne so I can pretend. Now, whatever, man, I think...
Yeah, you know...
Go ahead.
My claim to fame is I got the most expensive throne in the entire chat.
You got a nice bidet equipped super.
No, so much better. So much better, dude. It literally produces hot shit all day long. It's an incinerating toilet, man. It incinerates everything.
I mean, that's kind of cool. Like I had this. Well, actually, no. That always pulls me towards this one idea, but and it's just generally the idea, and I don't know if the toilet's powering itself with shit or not. Is it? It's not, right? It's got it takes extra energy to get rid of it all.
Oh hell yeah! It uses a crazy amount of power.
Okay, all right. So I think I want to build something like a restaurant, right? Like a restaurant based in fried food, which fries shit always in fresh oil, and then uses filters the oil, and then uses it to power the fucking restaurant, right? So everything you ever get comes in completely fresh oil. And then the rest...
Oh, dude. You know what? The smell that comes out of the tailpipe would actually sell the food.
Just completely clean food and fresh oil.
Well, I don't know if you know about this. If you ever had any experience with any of the fry oil, conversions, dude?
Not really.
Okay, let me tell you that they smell exactly like whatever restaurant it came from at the tailpipe. And not bad smell, like actually goddamn good. It smells like they just made fry.
Right. I wonder how much you can force that smell. I mean, you don't want to dominate the street, but maybe you do it like Pavlov, every hour, at 5 minutes to the hour or something, or 5 minutes after the hour when maybe people have stopped. Then you just put you let a burst of it out, right? Boom, you bomb for 30 seconds that part of the commercial street where you're operating your franchise. Boom.
Well, I mean, people don't get bitched at for vent hoods, right? Just be another vent hood on steroids.
I mean, I figure if we did that, what you'd have to do is shape your fry. You'd need more shallow fryers, right? We have old school, fat, crazy fryers. I think we can. I mean, if we're smart, I think we can build real shallow fryers, which still completely cover the food, and then we can move that food to a centrifuge, which will remove more of that oil. We can use that oil to power the fucking restaurant. I think, no joke. I think we can do that, and I think that combine that with this idea I have called FalaPhilosophy, which is fried food, falafel, but it's just a completely standardized, 2/3 of an inch ball. It's all molded. It's all done by a fucking, food quality stainless, robot, basically. It all gets put into little balls where you only need probably 1/4 of an ounce to surround it because it's all standardized. Fry the shit out of them, centrifuge them, power the restaurant, sell them in tubes like Roman candles for fucking $5, and spread them all over the fucking world. Falafel fried right, just right, is amazing if you have some good dips. That's the linchpin. You'd need a line of sweet ass dips. But
you're falafel shit. You know that? You're falafel shit.
I'm a philosopher. No bullshit. It's just it's what I really am.
Full of awful shit. Right? Oh, that was No, but dude, that's actually a really good idea. I think that you can actually compact it further, like in size, using something like a biodiesel turbine generator rather than a piston engine.
Great.
Also dramatically more efficient.
Dude, that would be sick, dude. If we powered it by a jet, something like great. Like one
Dude,
power.
this is a really fucking cool idea, bro. Like, it's actually really cool.
The thing about it, we could fit all the cooking stuff into I imagine this restaurant as a dome or a pyramid, but probably a dome. Probably like where all the cooking is done in the walls. Like the walls are like, I don't know, 30 inches thick. And the robot operates in a circular pattern, from when the fresh ingredients are brought by one of our delivery trucks. And it's it's got to be broken down for an hour a day and probably clean. But the rest of the time, the inside of that building is just empty. Like, you can just get a tube of FalaPhilosophy and argue with people, right? And we design it so it breaks apart easily enough that we claim nobody will ever choke on it. But you're just so instead of having a restaurant full of tables and shit, there's just an open space for people who want to philosophize. The rest of the Americans will just drive by at the north, south, east, or west, serving station and buy from us like we're a fucking vending machine, in my opinion. And people will be like, that's so weird, but it doesn't matter if it's good and cheap. Fuck them.
It's such a cool concept, and it's foreign enough that you're going to get it sold by the media by itself. That's a given, right? Like, they're going to pick up that and run with it no matter what. Like, even if you didn't tell them about it, they're going to find it and they're going to do a story on it. You don't even got to pay them. They're just going to do it. And, if it's kind of like enough where it has this kind of like strange kind of like, wow, it's good, it's all done right, and the jet thing, that's just icing on the cake right there.
The jet thing would be so sweet. They're not like those things. I mean, we'd have, just the work to design whatever the housing for the jet itself to be powered by the oil, the still very clean oil that's left over. Like, that would be fun. Like, does it look like it might look like a real fucking jet engine? I don't know.
Yeah, so the issue there is filtration for the fryer grease. So, like, if the fryer itself had some kind of pre-filter, that automatically helps. And then when you go into the jet engine, you said centrifuge already. Centrifuge is probably an incredibly great way to filter the next set of debris, and then you just do a filter and put it in the turbine. Done.
Yeah, it'll be kind of like the Theranos blood testing robots, except not nearly anything like that at all. Not bullshit.
Work.
Yeah, they work. They work. Like, we can make automated philosophical falafel. Like, if you need, we can cook it quick. We centrifuge it. The fat content's low. All it is about dips. We'll just have dip contests all over the world. Just open source dipping. If you come up with a formula that becomes super popular, fine. That's the thing. We'll probably need to invent, what did she call it, her Edison machine to make the dips, right? We'll put in 23 secret ingredients, feed them into the fucking machine, and it'll produce the dips for us. We need those dips to be sweet and for us to be relatively cheap. You can't spend $5. I get hyper about FalaPhilosophy.
Dude, it's a really good idea. Like, I don't normally just cling to ideas, but this one got me, man. It got me.
It's got a good name too. I mean, it's just it just goes right for it.
Well, yeah, because you want falafel in the name, because falafel is a hell of a fun literary word. Like, that memes all day long. Oh, I falafel. Think about the marketing, dude. Your marketing team would be like, oh my god, it's already so easy. You're going to pay me how much?
Well, dude, inside of FalaPhilosophy, you have the tube, but maybe the tubes are actually scrolls. Like, maybe every thing is a piece of... and it breaks open, you read it, that would be good too. With automation, it's only chickpeas. We have to start cornering the market on chickpeas right now. Everybody has to dump their crypto and go into fucking chipto.
It's just such a smart idea because chickpeas are a great ingredient. The mixture is relatively simple. As far as a roboticized machine, this isn't harebrained. This is actually very doable. Usually I hear automated, we're going to replace McDonald's with an automated machine. I'm like... okay. Like, we're getting there. Like, you could probably do it, but do you know how much the maintenance would cost and the bugs and the rodents and all the other issues that you're going
to deal with all those variables? Like, fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You got to simplify.
But this, you got to, you send a guy out to work on the machine. Maybe it's a, 20-minute, an hour process, depending on, like, you got to maybe replace the filter for the power generation, right? You got to fucking clean out the fryer stuff. You got to kind of add the, maybe fill up the tanks for the oil again, like, it's a little bit of a process,
Oh, you know what? I think we use the oil to power the delivery trucks. Like, we'll have, like, hybrid delivery trucks, like, cute little trucks, and we'll just... I think maybe instead, like, maybe we'll use a different system. And whatever works. Like, but we'll use... I think the oil would be enough to power the restaurant and to power the trucks. The jet gets a little ridiculous, but who cares, dude? Like, we're talking about robots here. Robots have rarely been used for such interesting and beautiful things as FalaPhilosophy. Like, what... robots have... I mean... They make nice cars. I had a Beamer once, and I like the fact that robots help to make the tolerances so tight. Even Germans don't do that shit.
The thing about the jet engine is they already exist, and they're great. They're great for turbines, right? And what you need to basically just more efficient. So like, and they already exist, right? So like, you can literally get an off-the-shelf one, I think.
Well, they're going to be... I think they'll be a little bit more polluting than the ideal source, but so it won't be anything, like, environmentally super destructive. It'll be something like a sacrifice that we make. But guys, this is not the most... Like, there's a little bit of inefficiency here on one level. Yeah, we're reusing all the oil, but, like, the turbines are better used for, like, specific cases, like an airplane flying at altitude. There are slightly more economical ways to use the same amount of fuel to get power at sea level. But we're going to do this anyways. Like, we're going to power this whole thing by one jet that runs a generator, and that generator provides all the electricity that the whole restaurant needs. And if that thing shuts down, well, I don't know. We probably have one truck in each city that can drive in and plug itself into the restaurant and, finish the last 1,000 fucking falafel for the day.
Yeah, true.
Did everyone the philosophers would be the ones who finance the thing anyways, right? They'd be like, I want an automated falafel restaurant in my city, and I'm gonna pay whatever my fair share is, I'm gonna crowdsource this bitch in Buffalo or Toronto or fucking, Oklahoma City, wherever the fuck people are.
I'm actually I really personally don't even like falafels that much, but with the right sauces and stuff, they're okay. I would eat one for, at this restaurant just because, I would try it once. But, I like the concept, I like the name, I would buy into the company, but I don't necessarily like falafels.
I mean, you have to try. We can do falafels that are basically donuts, right? We can do anything that's a ball that's made out of a blended ingredient, essentially. There might be, especially since we're using fresh oil, we can do a completely sweet pass and make... what's called donuts. No. Okay, so FalaPhilosophy is a cousin of donation, and donation is a fanciest...
Oh, it's so good! Stop! Shut up!
All right, I'm done.
Shut up right now! It's
all right,
too good.
All right,
because you put the donut thing with the coffee thing, and then you're done.
Well, and tea,
oh my god, Dunkin' Donuts would be so rad.
Yeah, people like bread. People and falafel, they don't even know in America how good when you fry it right and it's fresh and you have the right dip, it's an amazing experience. You can either, if you have a big mouth, you can jam the whole thing in. If you have a small mouth, you probably bite it in half. I'd like to make them so that it's a one bite thing. You put it in your mouth.
I want to jam the whole thing in.
Fine. You jam it all in. That's our commercials. Jam it in your mouth. And it's too big to choke on, right? And once you break it, once you crack it, because the outside is a little bit it's kind of like a uniform thing because of how we fry it. It's got a bit of a shell. Once you crack into it, it does kind of break, so you don't choke. Literally, I have little kids, and I always worry about choking, and I want to make it something not where a kid throws it in his mouth, chokes to death, and then the restaurant shut down, and we feel horrible. I don't want that to happen. Size does matter. If you're talking about something getting stuck in somebody's throat, yo.
Yeah, they got to be a little bit bigger than a quarter,
Yeah, that's so. I would do that, and I may do that, but there's literally I've been working on ideas for 50,000 hours, so there's so many things that I can't pick one. FalaPhilosophy is very dear to my heart, and it's a real idea. It's like a real idea, even if people are like, what? I'm like,
I really like it. Like, if I had the money, I'd support building that out right now. Like, I'm not even kidding. And same with donation. Are you kidding me, dude? Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, I would legit, like, work on these.
well, the donuts, we claim that the equivalent of a dozen donuts, really good donuts, but made by a robot with very little human cost at the local location, like per donut, that we can make 13 amazing donuts for a true cost of $5 a dozen. I think we can easily, especially in a place that's doing other shit, right? Especially a computerized vending machine that mostly needs ingredients and cleaning and like new recipe programs. So we could make them for $5, and we could sell the donuts for $10. Like the falafel could be like $5 for a narrow tube. The donuts could be like a Awakened Baker's dozen, 13 donut equivalent for $10, but half of that money goes into a crypto that you can then you can move around the world as a donation to fucking help some project or some people. You can't give it to a person, but you can move that money into a project that's trying to bring freedom to the world. Some crazy shit, because that's what donation has to be. It can't be a joke. It has to be like, you are buying a bougie-ass dozen donuts, and half of that money is going to help somebody. And the donuts are also awesome because of our efficiency, because of our fucking robots.
Well, you make the donation small, and you make the donuts, as good as you can make them for, like, pretty cheap, but, like, focus on quality still, right, as much as can be done. And then
much can be done for quality.
Have the donut. Well, it's difficult with robots anyway, even for But what you do is you have the donation tied to an incentive, which gives them like a point for coming back. So and then you use the location, right? You just put them in super busy locations near office, like morning traffic, commute stuff,
right?
Where it's inevitable that no matter what, people have to hit it because like they already missed their coffee, they already missed their donuts, and it's right there, and it takes literally 2 seconds, and like you got your coffee and your donuts, boom, done. Like it's worth it.
The coffee part is huge, actually. Yeah, moving it, blending the different things together, having sweet and like regular real food, and having donuts and coffee. That does expand the options a lot.
It's so easy to incorporate coffee even in a vending machines sized like.
Well, we're talking a ring that's like at least, I don't know, 90, probably, well, at least 80 feet in circumference. So you got to, like, by 2.5 feet, you got plenty of room to fit in an intake, a grinder, like all the shit that you need to. I mean, the first one would be expensive, but if people are like, we're going to make more, then those people would have to get together online and have a design contest and be like, listen, we need to actually do something to sort of mass manufacture some of the components of this, or we're going to waste a shit ton of money. Like, we got to finish these ideas and then figure out how to produce them and do that shit relatively quickly too. But we got, ideally, we got $400,000 investors around the world, and like that's something what it would take to really build this even at a small scale. But once, if it's proven, people are like, this is a great food source to have around, like this company actually brings in enough revenue to be very helpful in running the networks necessary to opening new locations quickly, like connecting people, connecting manufacturers of the equipment.
There's no way it costs that much money. What you do is you launch the thing, donation, falafel, philosophy, like.
You mean just one location?
Fuck, that's so hard to say.
Philosophy.
You do the one location, the proof of concept, you build a media hype, you use that to market and sell the rest. Then when you pull the investor money and you have 2 different layouts, your brick and mortar, which is a small minimalistic setup, and then you have your vending machine style. Dude, I don't see any reason why this can't be Japanese vending machine style, like size. Like, I really don't.
Well, partially because you can't, there's not a lot of places when you can drive up to a vending machine. We're going to need enough, I think we're going to need enough property to build one so that cars could pull off the road and drive past it 4 different ways, ideally. And I also think that once once we build, I think the first one won't be, I don't think it'll be a dome. I think it'll be a cylinder, and I think we'll build the first floor such that over the next years we can add 9 more identical floors on top of it. So the drive-through will just be the first floor, a robot that can pump out like mad food. And then the options will exist to grow to whatever the local height limit as we, bring in revenue from people who are like, listen, I understand that when I'm eating this food, it's super efficient, and I'm actually paying a little bit extra to finance the growth of the company that behind this thing. Like, we're trying to actually allow this venture, FalaPhilosophy itself, to quote-unquote profit, right? Some of the money is supposed to flow into it and never go back into anyone's pocket ever again. Like, we can use it to do things, but, like, that money's ours. That money belongs to the FalaPhilosophers. It doesn't have to be a for-profit, dude. Absolutely never. I think never. Like, it can bring in a ton of money to do things, but it doesn't go in people's pockets. That's not what FalaPhilosophy is about. That's Amazon, dude. The place that fucking chopped down more of the forest to sell more books.
I was just thinking it was, dude, big cities, man. The vending machines, like, screw the cars, dude. Like, no one's driving fucking cars.
You're actually right. You're right.
You think drive-thrus exist in cities? Nah, dude. None of the fucking fast food places got drive-thrus in a city.
Well, if we could, I mean, honestly, like, you could easily fit the... she calls her machine the Edison. You could easily fit the Socrates bot inside of your average-sized American food truck. Like, we could actually build our own fully electric... Dude, we could build our own fully electric food truck. It would have a turbine engine that powered a generator. That generator would power the wheels when we need it. It would fill a battery, and we would be like...
That's it. That's the answer. That's it.
Anywhere, any event, just all we need is the supply of the herbs are small, all that shit's small. It's just mainly like you need to be able to deliver hundreds of pounds of chickpeas a day, fresh, to be chopped.
Dude,
and
that's the winner, dude. That's the winner idea. That is the best option. But it's the cheapest for real estate. It's the leanest and meanest. Like, that's the...
Oh, dude, the real idea actually happened earlier today. The real idea is real estate. Like, is real estate, maybe we'll just make is real estate the company that, it's like Israel, but spelled like Israel. It used to be what I would call the game engine in my company, but is real estate was the idea today that we could, like, build something based on Google Earth, which allows you to, like, not only look at your own property, but customize your property, with inventions created by the people who made Garage Simulator, which is a way, way greater simulator than GOAT. But doesn't exist yet. Is real, and then we could get people to, like, customize the shit, right? Like, we'll get people to customize these insane, like, futuristic man caves, and pretty soon after the millionth one is, like, customized and saved, I think we'll have enough money to start building them for real. And behind, like, a lot of American houses, you have, like, a 2-car garage. If you just, like, take away your car's house and you put some kind of a little bit of a lab or a studio, anything really creative back there, then the whole country could change drastically. You could have, like, a little factory behind every fucking house. And people who buy a smaller house with a much better garage because that garage has some fucking amazing service in it, like, they get ahead faster than people who try to, like, spend shit tons of money on bullshit luxury. Fuck bullshit. Fuck bullshit and luxury. You don't need luxury. Fucking comfort is all you really need. Comfort and
yeah. Quality is better than luxury. Like, a lot of luxury nowadays is fucking faux ass bullshit anyway. It's not real luxury. Real luxury is the stuff that's built right, that you can depend on, that you're comfortable with, that gives you a good feeling about it.
I'm gonna try that name. Let's see. Real lux. So it would be like real luxury, like real lux. I mean, you'd say real lux, I'll take all the advertising profits for inventing real lux, but you did, like, bring me to real lux, so if anyone wants to decide later, you can take a third of that. I'm just playing. There's no system at all. That's the fucked up thing. Like, I sometimes speak to people in case I succeed, like, listen, if you're looking back and you're thinking a lot of these people who talk to this crazy motherfucker, like like, they didn't get paid anything, and they were contributing. So we can't create a formal mechanism until there is a formal mechanism. So if you run into somebody in, like, a conversation like today, somebody could run into this and be like, this stormtrooper, he actually like help to push something forward and maybe even increase the odds of it happening, and that's worth something. Like, what is it worth? I don't know. I don't want to get into a Theranos like contract. I don't want to sign any NDAs. I don't know. I hope that in the future, people who suffered through work with me, because sometimes it's hard, that they can be compensated voluntarily and more than fairly. If I talk to you for 100 hours, you'll have serious problems with me. No, it's one of my best friends just just lost it the other day. It's just, and they don't even tell me, right? They don't even tell me that they're getting frustrated, that it's too much. They just blow up and everything becomes dark, and I'm like, no, man, I do my best to be an approximation of a white light. You get in the wrong position and you start looking at me as a black hole, but it's not like that.
So I found that people don't feel that they're being considered, right? Like the whale pool quote that I'm in or whatever. It's consideration is very important. So if they're giving ideas out and they're contributing, and then they find out that all those ideas went into this, that, and that, and I didn't get anything, not even an anonymous donation. I'm gonna be super pissed.
Yeah, it's hard to know though. There's no. I believe that a future system of royalties, we need great systems of fucking royalties and royal trees. We need to have people be able to earn a living through discovering something that matters to other people, because most likely, if they're a good person, they'll go and work anyways, right? If they earn a sabbatical through inventing something randomly, making them free and able to innovate for the rest of their life without having to worry about their lobster or their yacht time, they're gonna invent better shit. It's gonna be better for us when we find signs of discovery, in children, to at least offer them patronage from our civilization. You are the opposite of a Nazi. If you don't want to go play in the rat race, you don't actually have to. You also can't get rich, but you could live a life like Alex, or you could live relatively poor but have access to good food and all the equipment you need to pursue your dreams. Maybe you'd rather have that than go work for Boeing.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people, man, they pick up that pension or whatever, and what do they do when they get off? They take off for a year, they go travel, they do some stuff, and they're like, I need a hobby, and then that hobby quickly turns into a job, and next thing you know, they're starting an engineering company or a gunsmith company or it's fucking crazy. People don't quit work, and people want to work naturally. It's a natural.
I think they do, and if we I think that the smallest, I want to build these things called garages. I don't know where the G came from, but And I want to build one for myself, and it probably is the same shape as a FalaPhilosophy if we get things done just right. It literally might also be a super easily printed 3D cylinder. A cylinder to me is the fucking shape. What's the point? So you can build one, and I think that would be amazing. But the smallest scale to really have an impact would be to build a block. Right, to build a block, but to build somewhere where a street surrounds a piece of property, and you have a bunch of people who build houses, and behind those houses, go one of these garages, one of these man caves designed around what do you say, gunsmithing or machining, virtual reality, where people are just you shrink down the bullshit and you focus on, and then you attract people who want that focus, and those are the kind of people you want to be around. If you want to be around creators, if you're a creator, right, you don't want to be mixed in with a bunch of fucking closed-minded sheep. You like to be around people that help you to have a renaissance, to keep your level up and to produce a lot, and maybe to retire and sail around the world, sure, maybe to do it when you're fucking before you're 50 years old for the second time. Whatever. I've had freedom in my life, but I want freedom to be able to do what I want. To say, I've done work in my life that's worth truly using my own freedom in a selfish way with my family, which I've really never done. I want to go travel. I want to fuck. I don't want to be on a yacht with you and fucking ZZ and all my these people from the internet all the time. I would want to sail around the world with my kids. Even in that case, I'd still probably rather take a $4 million time-shared yacht than buy one, and I'd rather take one out that's been proven over and over and over, than rent one from some guy who's going to gouge the fuck out of me. Because when you try to rent a sailboat that's capable of turning into a submarine in a really bad storm, you get gouged.
Oh yeah,
bad,
big time.
Oh fuck. No, that's
Busted.
That's good work. That's good work. Oh, Neiman, ban Neiman, please. Somebody ban this troll. Oh shit. See, this is all a game, and I don't even think it's like it is my favorite game. I can't wait until there's like some graphics, like somebody, you gotta. We just take this, right? Like find some way to combine this literally with blockchain and say, listen, of course, is most of the voice going on blockchain? Of course the voice isn't going on a blockchain, but the blocks are big enough that if you say something that takes 3 minutes and it's really good, of course it can get stored in fucking blockchain. It's fine. It's just, it might take its own block, right? There might be an attachment point to the blockchain that could take whatever the fuck you wanted to attach. If the Emancipation Proclamation of the future appears and someone wants to put it on that, go put it on, we'll take it. Like, we'll accept that file. And we'll protect it for you, whatever the fuck it is.
Yo.
Fucking just ban Neiman, everything will be fine. No, I really like Neiman. He's one of the first. Him and ZZ both talked to me and enjoyed some ideas. And I'd come from Freedom First, where my friends have heard me talking for a year, and I only changed my idea like 1% a day, so it just sounds like the same old shit, and it drives people insane.
Yeah, I got that car idea, so I know how it is. I've been taking this idea I got in 2010 and just slowly crafting and iterating over time. Largely, it looks the same. So, like, a lot of people, they're like, so what's changed? I'm like, oh my God, so much. It's basically completely different.
All I want to do with cars is manage to build a trailer park where there are no roads, and where all the money that would have gone to roads goes to build an inductive racetrack around the trailer park. Right? It's for like people who like literally live in trailers, like in a trailer park, but like surrounded by an electric racetrack. Like for just people who just love to fucking race. They're not even gas cars. They don't even make loud sounds. They don't even pollute, but they're fast and they're safe. And some people just like to race. Sometimes they say, you know what, I'm sick of racing. I'm just gonna rent out my time to fucking idiot tourists from Toronto.
Well, you know where you build that one? You build that right here in Florida. You know why? It's a drag racing mecca. And, like, you get these old, like, a lot of the old retired drivers end up down here. And, dude, that's, like, that's exactly the style. Some of them are really wealthy, but they live that way. They like living that way. It reminds them of racing and everything.
I mean, like some of the things, like if you want to race, you probably can't afford to build your own electric racetrack. Like you probably cannot afford to build it in the first place. Like so you just can't. Like we're not going to count billionaires in any plan. I mean, if
I'm not talking billionaires. I'm talking,
just millionaires, retired guys.
They build it themselves, but they're well off, right? They raced professionally for a few years.
I mean, most people haven't. I wonder if like 60-year-old, mostly like successful dudes who worked, like if they would really get into it, right? If you had like a lower level, but sweet electric fucking, even on an inductive track, right? So you don't even got to carry batteries with you, right? You're just a fucking frame and a suspension and a steering mechanism and an aerodynamic fucking cover. Probably like we'd have a vacuum machine that just would repeatedly stamp new covers like out of secondhand carbon fiber.
Yeah, because it's gonna get wrecked reliably, dude. You can turn the G-forces up so bad on that. It's like, well, this car can actually kill you if you accelerate too fast. So we have to not here's the safety setting limits. Like here's your G-force.
Yeah, we could pay for the whole thing with the same concept as I'm thinking about for the shells, which is an idea called reusable piñatas, that just completely fall apart, but you can just put them back together, and we make $5 every whatever. So the best place to build a racetrack, in my opinion, is on the water. The best place, because then the track becomes a snake that can change its shape every lap. You can't prepare for the shape of the track because you don't know what it's going to be. Because every track in the world, the thing that happens, you can't change its shape, right? You're going to get the same race over and over and over. So the best place to build an electric racetrack is on the water, in my opinion. Even if you have to like dig a fake lake that's only 6 inches deep to like float the actual sections of the racetrack. And that
interesting.
That track,
very interesting concept, dude. I like the way you think.
I'm high as fuck a lot of the time. I give credit to the weed. I'm a bit like, if I could smoke 100 times more weed, I would really identify with Ricky. More and more I'm into trailer park ideas lately. I did just watch all of Trailer Park Boys, but I'm very into the trailer parking lately. Like weed and fucking like trashy people being totally ridiculous and like engaging in insane sounding schemes. It's kind of like what this world is anyways, except like not.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of funny shit. If we don't take ourselves too seriously, there's so much funny shit out there, and we could use that. Like, we don't have to ever spend a cent on advertising. We're just a bunch of more philosophical, slightly more intelligent, slightly funnier people, and we'll create enough fucking funny shit that we don't need to spend money on advertising. We put out shit every day, and the stuff that's really good rises up, and then it becomes viral, and people know who the fuck we are. And they know that we make amazing shit, and we do it not for profit somehow, and we fucking pay our people well, and our products last, and fuck Amazon. Like, we'll strike them one day, and we'll just take their warehouses, or if necessary, we'll spend a fortune to build a vastly advanced set of warehouses and just turn them into ghost towns. But we'll already have a business plan for what to do with what's left over. We're gonna, like, make them into roller coaster racetracks for the fucking hamster matrix. What? But seriously, I think of an Amazon warehouse as being like a roller coaster for like small like carts, right? Like they're too small to send a person around, but a small animal could have a good time. Like right before you kill the hamsters to eat their meat, then you let them go on a roller coaster, so they think everything's great, and it's just the end of the track is a guillotine, and they die like at least half sprung. I'm just going way too far. I'm supposed to have a fucking cigarette a long time ago. Yo, that's good work. We should stop, not because we couldn't get more done, but because we got enough done. FalaPhilosophy, we could build it. We could get 30,000 locations up within a decade easily, as long as it tastes good, as long as it's like as efficient as I imagine or close, as long as we could handle like getting the proper ingredients for the sauces and making them at a price that isn't insane. I mean, you're probably going to have to pay per ounce of your sauce. The robot will probably give you exactly as much as you want. Like, we don't want to fuck around with, like, handing somebody 2 ounces of sauce if they're only going to have a quarter ounce of sauce. Like, this is legit shit, right? People pay per fucking drop of this. It's only, like, a few thousand satoshis per drop, but they pay per drop. So, like, figure out how much you want, get a little bit more than that, and don't fucking waste, man. Don't fuck around. We thought a lot to keep this shit delicious and healthy and efficient. Like, do your part. I'd be like, go fuck yourself. Give me my food. Give me my food.
I like it. I like how it's a self-marketing meme too. Like the name FalaPhilosophy is hard to say the first time, but once you've said it,
it's easy. That's great once you've said it. And dude, the scroll-based packaging, like you pull off the two end caps, right, and it opens. Those are the memes. Like whatever it is, anything. Like sometimes it'll be just like a word, like one of the words we like FalaPhilosophy. You could get an actual wrapper that just said FalaPhilosophy. Like that was the idea that's on that wrapper. But if we were willing, we could spend another like 2 cents or 3 cents or 5 cents to actually print a full-on meme inside, right? You don't spend 10 cents. If you spend a little bit extra on your like unhappy meal, you could get randomly get possibly like a full resolution like top level meme, maybe even something new like a golden meme ticket. Like whatever it will be that like we could memes. We'll fucking literally print the fucking things out. Why? I mean, I don't see why not. Like we're gonna be. That's some place where we could afford. Like it wouldn't really be advertising. We'd be handing content to every person who bought a tube of 10. Like they'd be getting a page of our advertising and our own wrappers. And I think a lot of people would keep them, go home, like wipe them off and put them into a book, right? They'd be like, every single fucking time I went and bought a fucking 10 stick of FalaPhilosophy, I opened the scroll, I laid it flat, I wiped it down with a paper towel, and I put it in a binder that I got at the store for $2.50.
Dude, it's so easy. Like you do hashtag I feel awful, right? With the feel as the start and then it trails into awful. And then the men advertisement would be like, I feel awful, I didn't get you any philosophy.
Yeah, oh, that's good. Yeah, I went to McDonald's. I feel full awful.
Yeah, dude, there's so many. It's so good, dude.
It's like it would be one of the weirdest like large like businesses in the world. Like I mean, just because it's I don't know, because it is but that doesn't mean it's not good, right? Even I have to confront them, like how weird are these things that you're coming up with, and sometimes I end up trying to justify when they're actually fine.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna stop philosophy. Like philosophy can't be stopped. I mean, if we chose not to build it, maybe it would never be built, but it couldn't be stopped.
Yeah, I don't think it can be.
I mean, maybe there'd be another competitor. Maybe we got to come up with a funny name for something to be like the McDonald's. We'd make up a story that there's a competitor, or maybe there'd be like an Eastern and a Western philosophy. We'll do that. Like the United States, our hemisphere gets one, and the other hemisphere gets the other, and we like pretend like they're two different things, or maybe they are.
That's quick style, right? Yeah.
I like to draw lines and then like see like who's on one side and who's on the other, and that's what's important to me. Not like whether it's Call of Duty, Infinity, or fucking Spore, but what are the teams, right? Like what is the line that's drawn in the sand between the two teams? Like what are the demographics that are competing? Not that there aren't better games. There's definitely better and worse games, but sometimes I just want to go into the game and I just want to be on the Apple side just to see if I can help. Fucking lots of Apple fanboy retards like manage to win against the fucking Androids simply because I use them and I'm not going to have time to learn and to pick a team consciously. Like I picked a team because I don't like headaches. Like I'll even sometimes trade functionality like to keep headaches away.
Yeah, me, like, if I miss a phone call or something and it's not critical, I can deal with bugs and all that shit. I don't really care. I'd rather be able to, like, hack my shit and, like, put whatever I want on my phone to, like, actually own it, you know?
I mean, if I actually did any hacking, like, even software hacking or anything, then I would probably be in the same boat. But I don't. Like,
My only thing is, like, I can have Linux, like full-on Linux on a phone. I just haven't done it yet because, like, gotta figure that shit out. But, yeah, dude, like, when you have Linux on your OS, you do whatever the fuck you want. Like, you put in your own network, like, for the fucking LTE antennas and shit. Like, that shit's some powerful stuff. You got command line and everything on there. You find yourself out in the middle of nowhere. It's like, I'm just gonna load like aircrack Dash NG and like hack this fucking WPA. Oh, I could do that on a smartphone. Actually, technically, you could, given enough time.
Dude, you could do so much with just a pair of hearings that connect, like just to be able to talk to central. You can do so. It's all you really need to be able to do. It's like all words. Like almost all the important commands are words.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, most of the best hackers through time are social engineers. Like, dead up.
Fuck.
You're not supposed to tell that kid.
What's up, Drugs?
Hey, Barcode.
Sorry, I meant Neiman. Captain Barcode. Are you a barcoder? You're not. You're a barcoder. That'd be even funny. A barcoder? Like he's a coder, but he's a fucking ridiculous alcoholic, so he just like never writes anything. I used to have my laptop out at the bar a lot. That was fun. I wish I kind of almost want to go back and do that and like smoke weed and have a couple drinks and like talk to people and record and write and maybe occasionally do cocaine in a DJ booth. Fuck.
That is a fun style. I've been there to 20.
I didn't do it much, but once a friend of mine and I, we won some money at a casino in like right outside of our city and spent like I had probably part of a month getting too fucked up. Probably it wasn't like dangerous. It was just depressing. It's just like the next day was always so depressing. Like those miserable Psalms, they're so depressing. Sorry, people probably.
I didn't mean to interrupt you guys' conversation.
You didn't mean to interrupt. There was something. Where are we coming from, Mike? Right after the commercial saying that McDonald's is you feel falafel because you fucking went to McDonald's. There was something right after that was also important or leading.
Social engineering was the last thing.
Well, that was after. See, I would at least love to have like a server that operated Discord, which like used full force training and recognition to turn everything I say into a multiplayer chat on the screen, right? Just blue and a nice green, whatever colors I pick for the people I'm actually talking to when I say it, and it creates an audio file, but it also creates, a very easily readable chat bubble at the same time, and then say, okay, I will use my touchscreen, which I don't even have yet, because Apple doesn't put them in any of its shit, really. And when I like something that I see in the room, I will push it hard, and I will pay the negligible cost to have that, like these things that I write, like that, whatever image format it is, whatever file format it is, and place that particular thing into the blockchain. Like I like to write and take a photograph and put it up, because then actually on here you can edit it. Like you can just, I think you can you? Let me find out. I never tried to place.
If I was,
Yeah, you can edit what you type.
You can edit what you type, but you can't change the photo.
yeah.
You can't change the photo. So once that's more like putting it on a blockchain. If you type, you can just change it, and somebody without change logs.
If I were you, I would get the BSV chain and use that.
But we can build another chain, like to do all of this. I think all my shit, it makes enough money to build, to look further on, and it does come to a great and democratic network. It just, can you get the gravity sufficient to pull the proper imaginations together? People do want to somewhat unify and create things that are great, but we're incredibly skeptical. But there are still optimist primates. Like there are still optimist primates or fucking optimist primes out there, and I think there's millions of them. And I'm looking for particular demographics. If people aren't hopeful, like if they don't think that they are also even trapped behaving some days like a slave, then like go and do what, carry on. To each their own. Nobody's telling anybody what to do. Like some of us just think there's a hurry, and some of us would rather be productive and say fuck the luxury. Fuck deluxury. What's deluxury? That's like digital luxury. That's like, ooh, deluxury is fine. Let's not talk shit about deluxury, because that sounds like a way to bring in extra. That's invest to win gold right there.
And some of us thinks there's free will.
Dude, will is expensive.
Oh man!
Wait.
Free will, you can prove that there's free will.
Let's make free wills and use advertising to make money. Let's make free wills.
Free wills.
Free wills. Like what?
Free Bear Grylls.
Drugs.
Drugs. Not even not serious drugs though. It's like little baby drugs. It's not even. I think there's going to be, just because I think the legalization of weed is going to have a positive impact on the world somehow. Like, more people will get high in more public places and be willing to engage in more conversations that come from a higher place. Like remove more from the first person. I'm not saying it's better. Like, oh, you smoke weed and you get high and you're above me. No, I'm just not in the shit the same way that you're in the shit. Like my brain was made totally sober through couple decades almost of education. This kind of is a convenient way to elevate your perspective and raise it above the walls of the box. Because I say there is a box, but the box is topless. Give me some titties.
Interesting. The universe's limit is infinite, but boundless. Is kind of what you said.
Yeah, absolutely. It's boundless. There is no bounds.
Nope.
Maybe the biggest thing I think of building is, I'm gonna go with smoke, is called Universe City. I think somewhere in between, the university and the city, there is a, because I talk about this place called Las Vegas, which is a glass city in the desert. There's and really building a city or a city state, if you can do that, I mean, I'd rather publish a book that was great about a city state, maybe, because that's harder to destroy. You can just nuke a city state, if it appears and it keeps secrets and they nuke it. Like, did it ever exist in the first place? But if you can build one, if you can build a place and say, listen, all ye people of the world who are willing to be pretty fucking unselfish, like, have the opportunity to find other people and build absolutely beautiful and rich communities where you most likely ain't gonna have shit for interest in dumb luxury. Like, you will be happier because we've figured out how to, like, democratize and simplify, like, some other option than the existing society. I can't even find a city that I want to live in.
Yeah, it's actually pretty hard.
I mean, I got kids, so I can't go anywhere. But, like, even if their mom was less fucking agoraphobic, still there's nothing that stands out because all the cities we have are mixed. There's no city that's been built really intentionally and effectively by a particular demographic. To me, that demographic is not, like, brilliant people. It's unselfish people. It's net givers. It's people who say, I want to make sure that when I die, I gave and and helped to make something great. Not that I sucked anything dry or sucked anyone dry. Like, I gave, I built, I created. I even sacrificed to make sure that I wasn't on the other side of the line, that I wasn't someone fucking people. Maybe that's the most important thing. It's not even about giving. Like, I could live alone all by myself, but, like, in the real world, I'd be like, I don't want to take from you. I don't want to take your shit. And some people think they're like, you talk about this thing called democracy because you want other people to do your work for you. And I don't. Like, I'll keep working no matter what. And I think all good people will keep working no matter what. I think some of them can prove themselves, and then you say, you know what? Just do whatever the fuck it is, and people will still respect you. People think I do nothing. I don't want that to happen to every kid that's like me, and there's lots of them that are a lot fucking brighter than I am. I don't want them to have to deal with that shit. That's not how I became the way I am. Not at all. It just makes it hard to try to be real when we're part of a deeply ingenious species.
Yeah, and then we're putting all our energy into, like, negative feedback loops at the moment, so it's just like...
Yeah, it's bad shit right now.
I mean, there's a lot of good efforts going on, but a lot of the shit is just feeding right into this negative feedback loop.
I mean, how hard do you think it would actually, like, technically be if the people of the world, like, there was an acid rain and they all decided that they wanted to at least, even if they were going to spend all their day on something akin to Facebook, they at least wanted to own it, right? They didn't want Facebook anymore. They wanted democracy. Same thing. You have the same posts, but they own that motherfucker, right? They are citizens of that motherfucker. They have a vote, one user, one vote to elect the president of the company. So obviously Zuckerberg is gone immediately, right? Like, he's just gone. Like, we don't need you to just invent shit to sell to fucking advertisers. This is a network where everybody's going to be. This is where we can fucking solve our problems. This is where we can take back trillions a year from middlemen, probably within the first year of people actually interacting with something that's not as scummy as Facebook or Amazon. Just pure for-profit data scrapers. Just data rapers.
Well, something's going to happen for that's going to solve all the problems. We're going to see that the storage part for legal liability, all kinds of different reasons, are going to be put onto the onus of the person who owns the social media account. Once this happens, it's kind of going to be like, I don't know the topology exactly, but they'll basically be putting their data back into, like, they'll be basically a server, right? So each person is their own server, right? And then there's aggregate servers that take and collect that data as people permission it to, that compete to house and sort and store and aggregate that data based on that permission aspect. And this guarantees a much higher degree of, like, data integrity and, like, intent, which means it's better signal. And there's all kinds of ways to and then you have competition in the space for that ad marketing statistical information, but also like the feature sets that are being provided by the different competitors.
Would it be able to like? I love the idea you're proposing right now, but what if you created a hard drive running on a new file system that was blockchain based, so people like we have executables that install programs and software on our PCs now, but what if we made those executables adaptable with this new system that was blockchain based, and we could have a full circle new type of, I don't know, I don't even know what to call it. Blockchain based data, hard drive, storage.
Yeah, it's kind of, you actually merge the whole. So I created an operating system called Decentros that what's going on?
That's me.
He's muted.
My smoking account.
So like I made up this thing called Decentros, which was applying the blockchain from like from first principles to an operating system. And it was a really interesting walkthrough that basically got kind of stolen and made fun of by Andrew DeSantis, called DOS, and he like wrote that and memmed it hard. But it's like, come on, dude, like I made that before you. Like I documented it and shit.
Rip.
That's one reason why I want stuff like coin phase and like put something out. I'm too good for all that shit. I want to put on it, put themes and everything like that. It could. My bad. My computer doing that.
Yeah, but you got it. It works best to start, off kind of slow and get it done, one at a time, kind of, and then eventually it's just so logical to integrate and incorporate it all for the security and management aspects. It makes much more sense for the architecture of it.
I feel like someone or some people could build like a fucking blockchain, easy to submit to, mad fucking trusted, and be like, listen, I'm gonna put my shit here first, right? Like this is and this is open source. Like I hope that happens somewhere.
PSV.
We could.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. PSV though.
I support all shitcoins. Well,
My friend was talking from Ireland, talking to my kids for a minute the other day. She's like, "What do you guys know about fucking cryptocurrency?" My dad was like, "Shit coins." Yeah, crack up. It's pretty funny because they don't give a fuck. Like they definitely have like a pretty funny view on. I mean, they're only 9-7 much. But teaching them though, dude, like I think I can actually sit them down. Their mom doesn't really want their faces to be used, so I have to I don't know, be able to animate one more person to do it. Really better. I'm like an old dude. Like I gotta just say, I talk a lot, but I don't really need to be someone who's out in front of shit. If I have to, I'll do what I have to do, but I don't like it's not really necessary. I'd rather I want to go on vacation and disappear.
Yup.
Yeah. So I see, I look back and say, like, you know what? People are actually building this shit. They're actually building a crazy fucking philosophy franchise, and like that's awesome.
It's such a cool idea, man. I can't believe that shit. Every once in a while, every so often, I hear ideas like this, and I'm just like, oh my god, and it's getting better. What the fuck?
Well, if you have like, this is the thing. I don't know. Like, I have 608 ideas, and FalaPhilosophy is pretty near the top of them. But I know I'm narrowing it down to 420 before I do anything with it, and I'm probably narrowing it down to 144. I think if we could find a way without fucking with your RAM, to in like the next month to just hear all 144 with some kind of an informal NDA at least. Like, I bet there's one other one that you might like more, or there might be 5. I don't know. Maybe philosophy is like just the perfect idea for you, and it could be. It's an idea that could really go places. For me, it's just part of like a story. It's just part of a story of the future where all these cool like crazy businesses appear and change the world. To me, they're all real, but it really depends on like how much money they give us after we publish, like voluntarily to invest in the fucking company that's the hero of my story.
Oh, I'm starting to see your macro now, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool now. Like tying that to the children's books things and the other stuff. Very interesting.
I'm a fucking macro bot.
Huh?
A macro bot, sorry. That's something I really want. I couldn't even describe it sufficiently, but I do really like the name macro bots, because I think macros are the real common form that most people will use most of the time to like deal with the simplification of shit in their lives.
Yeah, heuristic. Macro is like a heuristic, right? And heuristics are the common like formulas that humans use.
Oh, like little bridges and shit. Like, oh fuck! I just came outside just wearing a pair of shorts and it's like under 30 degrees. This doesn't feel good. What the fuck did I just do? Yeah, but I'm kind of like I'm gonna eventually and hopefully soon just kind of it's a little pro as fuck, just like literally make an official publication of all the ideas behind what I call ideopoly. And I don't know, I have to find new people to go through it with because like I said, I spent a lot of time with certain friends and I've sort of ruined everything. Like so they can't like hear it and be like, oh that's good, that's fucking stupid. Like they just it all becomes gray to them.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
People over time, they get, I don't know, if they're not actively in the same frequency and thought wave as yourself, repetition kills creativity to many people, and they feel it's repetitive, even though you might be sharing new ideas after new idea after new idea, but they see a repetitive pattern, and it just shuts the brain up. I don't know why I'm talking right now.
No, I mean that's exactly the way all things in the universe works. The more you take one path, the more that path begins to harden. Like it shows where, it shows the tracks, and then other people follow the tracks, right? It's the same way like the shit moves around in your head.
That's actually the real reason I try to always publish as much pre-science fiction as we can. Like create branches of so many possible tracks that there's just no default pathways. Like that there's all sorts of options. And like if you want to support something, support that thing. Like fucking support what you actually want to see happen, man. Like you got an amazing super to input data, like fucking, and you know we're not raping you because you're us. So let's get that shit. That's actually what you think. It's crazy though. People think you like it's data. Like everybody's always raped your data. Like you just say, no, we're not gonna rape your data. We're gonna be an us. We're gonna be. It's for us. They're like bullshit. That's something you have to face in a story because people would look at a great fucking company and think it was totally ridiculous. I think I'm exhausted. Can we just say we did a lot of work tonight?
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting there. I got another 10 minutes and me. Oh no, no.
I'm at particular risk of like just going off in the fucking lava, man. So like before you're ready, we'll just call it.
Yeah, that was a good talk. Maybe I'll endeavor upon these 144 ideas one day when I'm feeling her.
I just if I'm down, you want to talk for a couple minutes time. I'm around. Ready to talk for a period of time. Sometimes it'll get me started. You be like, all right, that's cool. Bounce off. I might keep talking.
It's so bad right now that I'm getting scheduled scheduled backlog for stuff that I'm doing for free at this point. So like maybe sooner or later people will start paying me. That'd be Yeah, same here. Proof of burn is a costly signal.
Hmm. The long game.
Long game is the best game in town.
Absolutely. You have to think 5 years out in the future at least.
Yep.
At least.
The funny part about the future is that there's always pieces out there, right? It's always being assembled in front of us, right? So you can always see some of it, you know. It's the rest, the filling in of the gaps. It's, left.
The hard part, yeah. Agree. Path is English. Yeah, brain dead. Path is somewhat shown with
Yep.
clue.
It's like a cloudy kind of thing.
Quantum scarcity.
Yep. All right, yeah, sleep though. It's too late.
Alright, bros. It was good listening to you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna go back upstairs and then pass out.
Bye. Yeah. Let's do this more.
Yes, yes. The true vision of the 10 hut gut is, or wait, 10 goat hut. Damn, I am.
It's time. The true 10 God vision. You're not done with the 10 yet. Like, interesting. Why 13? Hmm. 4.
Dude, the Wake and Baker has nothing to do with marijuana. I don't know why you're so insistent it has anything to do with marijuana. Sir, we serve donut holes and coffee right here. It's very clear.